I must have pressed go live on the wrong video. This is the one for Nancy Grace with Puff Daddy, especially if that was Puff Daddy on the campus of Trinity College in 2011. And there are people with Miami involved with the name Scalora who were taking pictures of me, who report next to us, Scalora, to make fake ties, fake natures of ties to me with people tied to a Mackenzie. I'm sorry if that's the Navy Mackenzie, but people in the Navy. There was someone that brought them. I never talked to the Kate McKenzie. Someone put me in, came in my card to make it look like they knew me, and there was a There's been a pattern of that, and increasingly those are people involved with the World Trade Center attack. In other words, and I've been typing about it. There's a Joshua Stryker at Trinity College involved with predicate acts with former director of the FBI Robert Luskin and people who had conversations with Dean Alford, who are also involved with three spots at the end of the Burnham Turnpike, and next to Trinity College with a whole bunch of like people from Afghan leaders and kids, a whole bunch of people at Wethersfield Police Station involved with predicate acts there in Hartford, and with the courts that have been forging and switching names, and there are a whole bunch of people tied to the name Kalal and my past neighbors. With the name, in other words, with the name switching the name to Cleza and Lewis, and they'll tell you that they don't even know the extent, but they're putting everyone in fakes and changed communications with each other. There's communication racketeering worse than war crimes. These are some black KKK, Confederate flag theme, Latino theme, Italian theme, Afghani theme, Korean theme. UConn has roles with people named Zano and Violet with the intelligence community, planting with predicate acts on my street with police phones, families through time before the World Trade Center attack, shortly before it, and since, who have collusions also with Connecticut's Channel 3 News, WFSB, and at names next to them, and at next to Fox Connecticut News, and at next to WTNH. They're directed to by state corruption cover-ups, and the difference between that or the federal corruption cover-ups, and the difference between that as styles that run in and pretend they see mental problems with people, while tactically delusions raw. That's why they prevent anyone from using passions and emotions properly to force the liars who pretend they can't discern. We have black pupils, whites of eyes, and nature communicated other than has been spoken about what slavery was about. Nature tells us other, and our founders did too, thank God. But our founders have their communications replaced. We have self-value. It is measured and maintained. Our measured and maintained our self-value rules with uses of our founders' words, leaving out what they said, what they communicated about that, and about the breaching method. That was the subject. That was a major part of the subject of the communications. But the Constitution, unabridged, and why and how we have rights that are too numerous to have to list them, is the most important part, because it's about that hyper additional nature. It's about that which leads proper convictions, let alone with blame and guilt, let alone leaving out the even when real, leaving out the breaching method. There are roles with the breaching method against the people of New York City through also the people that have been convicting them after having sustained collusion/S at next to. And also those collusions are just forced. Trick, turn, persuade, made, only, allowed, seen, or something, that body is sensed, including if it's a majority of people as that body, including if it is everybody. Any grouping of countries while standing, locations, areas, and states used, being and having been used remotely as facts, human nature, quality aspects of nature, little styles of fakes. Your CT breaks, but there is seed. In other words, every country can be shown this. All the people will force them to admit it. In other words, but people are trying to force and use isms and things like that, and then they want to attack uh, presidents or chiefs or other countries' leaders because an individual voice can only defend the order of the finite. You guys want to make them go fight about math, leaving out what's greater than more finite and active relativity in ways that math can't be. And it's also about value, the same way as math is, but then further distinctly. That's how we could be led by it. But you guys want to pretend this is theory. You guys want to use science as names like Einstein, tactically delusions rock, criminally foreign influence. Black pupils. We're going to discern it. We're going to explain this as a predicate acts with facts, delivery system method. This true always what slavery was about. True always slavery was about measuring and maintaining the subject being brought up and witch trials being left out, regardless of who made up the witch trials, what extent they were made up. Also left out the other crazy laws against everyone. Because also that is means to measure and there are means to measure and maintain only fake integrity and styles describe blaming on their passions and emotions, and those descriptions are used remotely, like regarding where they pretend they treat the subject of slavery seriously. They jump in our way, black pupils, if we are calm or if we are aggressive. They change and fake what we say. They lie about what they think about behavior. They use words that psychiatry and that psychology gave them, like the formal sciences, the individually grouped it together. They are abridged, and then further, the names of the people of the sciences are abridged, and they are valuing that having been, and they're while they are being shown to, they need to hide from the practicality, like from all the revelations that come with how we could discern the value of the identity of science of seasons that are not even here yet before they get here per nature's method of communication. Nature shows us an extent of the future. Now, it showed us and shows us now an extent of the past while it is showing us the active, bound by it. All perspectives are its own, but now through systems that are and have been tactically altered from its own when also positive onto itself, specifically to have the short words by nature's demonstrations, forbid and or sensed. Get all insane. Vaccine. So please, the news media tries to make examples of that because there's a certain type of everyone's speaking through others and they're pretending to have trust in those people, and they just keep shooting out the stories and someone else is going to answer the phones. There are a whole bunch of different wire crime acts and methods, but these are also predicate acts methods. These are even preemptively over the past covering up things with fake news. They put WFSB, Connecticut's Channel 3 News, is ongoing making increasing confessions and demonstrations of the involvements of various Connecticut unions and names next to their unions involved with predicate acts with them at and next to campuses and between them, which also can be used to show what is and has been manifest inter and intra every campus, just like it is inter and intra physical colors where they're representing cultures in the syntax of people. But and we would have demonstrated this way our founders were conscious of it. that with involved with the game. This breaching method showed everyone to speak out how for the law and how to speak for our founders, pretending things are debatable that are not, relying upon criminally foreign influence, back cheating nature, quiet aspects of nature and natures of debate. Like, oh, you know more than this expert. In other words, change and make what people say. Stuff by others doing it and having done such for themselves. When they mention predicate acts properly, we're going to do it as a species body. All we have to do is get one or two of us until we get one judge proper who's going to go behind us. And one, in other words, who's going to disbelieve? We don't even know the words. Anyone who denies that one of the things that slavery was about, don't forget, we're going to bring all those other simultaneous things it was about. We're going to bring the simultaneous things it was about true all ways. But we're going to bring the other things that it was about too. In other words, we're going to make subject treatments, not leaving out exception. Like, let's make the subject treatment of witch trials. Okay, but slavery is entrenched. No, that's not part of the subject. It's part of the subject, crackpots. Boxings. I teach those things, but long.